Hi, I am retired professional triathlete TJ Tollakson, CEO of Dimond Bikes. Today we're going to talk about doping in the age group ranks. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say about this is, yes, age groupers dope. Many dope intentionally, many dope unintentionally, some are uninformed, many are just oblivious to the rules. Pros like Andrew Starkowitz become oblivious to the rules or blatantly disregard the rules and then pay the price for it in a doping ban. So we're gonna go over a few things here today, but we're gonna start with the study conducted at the German Ironman races a few years ago. And so a few years ago, they sent out surveys to all the participants, and in total, they had 2,997 people respond to this survey.
That's a lot.
So 3 German races. A third of the surveys were filled out in English, so it's not just German athletes. And of those 3,000 people, 13% of the respondents admitted to physical doping. Physical doping meaning that they took testosterone supplements, HGH, the like. 15% said they participated in cognitive doping, so like ADHD medicine. 10% of the respondents said they did both. And in total, 20% of the people actually admitted to doping at Ironman Frankfurt. It's crazy, right? I mean, this is totally random. You can't get caught for it. And obviously there's some errors and some problems with the survey. It was published in a peer review paper, but it is eye-opening to think that, wow, there's a lot of people cheating. And it doesn't really matter. You give people the opportunity to cheat, they will cheat. All you gotta do is go to a race and watch people draft, and they'll say, oh, that wasn't me. I wasn't the one drafting. And then you can watch the race footage and you can see, yes, indeed, the majority of the people in the race were cheating. Not everyone was, but the majority were. So even yo Sam Long, you were busted. I know you don't think you were guilty. I got to go on the other side of that. I actually think you were guilty. I believe Ironman that they caught you with a penalty much before that. That being said, there are several cases of age groupers being busted in doping, and we'll go over a few of those right now.
Busted.
In 2012, one of the most famous cases in Ironman was Kevin Moats. He had his first ban at that point. 2017, we had 2 athletes, one from Mexico and Kevin Moats from the USA had his second doping offense. It happens, people get busted, and there's a lot about the Kevin Moats thing and what was going on, but we'll use his example as kind of something that happened. So Kevin Moats was an age group triathlete. He was in his 50s. He was feeling very fatigued and run down. Endocrinologist did a bunch of tests and said, wow, man, your thyroid is non-existent, you're not producing, and your testosterone levels are scary low, like under 100. And so he says, I think we should get you on some thyroid medication, which, by the way, thyroid medication is not banned. It's a little bit in the gray doping area, but testosterone is definitely banned, okay? So he should have known that this was a problem. But if you're competing for age group wins in Kona, you should know this stuff already.
Of course!
So he sees his doctor prescribes him testosterone, originally does it with injections in the office, and then he goes and gets some cream, and he starts applying cream, androgel cream to his arm. The dosing on androgel cream is really difficult. It's also crazy because it could be mistaken for lotion, and Kevin Moats goes through this. He then, in 2012, tests positive for testosterone. He thinks he's gonna be just fine because he's like, hey, I had a doctor was prescribing this to me. Guess what? It doesn't matter if a doctor is prescribing you testosterone or ADH medicine or HGH, it's still illegal. You can't use it. And if you wanna know about that, you can ask Andrew Starkowitz because he was told not to use a substance, specifically told, used it anyway, and then paid the price and had a doping ban.
Nothing for you. Come back 1 year.
You can't just use something because a doctor gives it to you because it still is performance enhancing, and that's determined by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. And if you want to check if your drugs are banned, there's a website called globaldro.com, and Global DRO actually tells you, it's a database of all the drugs in the world. And what you do is you go in, you type your nationality, your sport, whether you're an athlete, a coach, search for a specific drug, and it tells you whether that drug is prohibited in competition, out of competition, or allowed. Now, it's really important because there's 3 different categories there, and so you want to make sure that you have it. And in competition doesn't just mean the day of your competition, it also means the day before and sometimes the day after your competition, so it's your competition window and when they can drug test you. But out of competition just means like, hey, you're just training, you're not actually racing. So there is some different rules that apply to all of those, but for the vast majority, testosterone, definitely not allowed in competition or out of competition. Human growth hormone, same thing, not allowed in either. IV, okay, if you have an IV, that's also illegal unless you were admitted into a hospital. That's the only way you can get an IV, so if you're going down to the clinic to get topped up on fluids after a night out, that's illegal. Ask Ryan Lochte. Ryan Lochte's the most famous guy that went to visit one of these clinics, and he got a doping ban for getting an IV full of B vitamins.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
So the way around all of these, okay, so we'll talk about asthma inhalers because they're one of the most popular ones. Some medications are allowed, some are not allowed. Some you need a TUE. What is a TUE?
If it's what I think, I had it for a month in the 70s.
Therapeutic use exemption, that's what it stands for. And it's a bunch of paperwork you have to fill out with WADA to basically say that you have something wrong, you need to use the drug to just get up to kind of a normal baseline. Now, some things, basically, like testosterone, if you want to use testosterone, you need to create 0 of your own testosterone. You have to like have serious condition where you do not make testosterone in order for WADA to approve you a TUE for you to use testosterone therapy. I know what you're thinking, that seems crazy, right? Because I've got low testosterone, I should be allowed to get up to normal levels. Well, it doesn't work like that because even small amounts of testosterone are performance enhancing and create an unfair advantage. And so if you're tired and you're run down and you're not taking enough testosterone, or maybe you just eat bull testicles like the Liver King and you know your testosterone will go up. That's a lie. The Liver King called out right here.
Boom.
There's a reason that it's not allowed, and that's why. So other common drugs that you can get in trouble for that you may not know. So acne medications. Some acne medications could be prohibited, so you want to check those out on the Global DRO website. Asthma medications, of course, this is a no-brainer. If you're using any asthma medication, you should have that checked out because not only is there in competition, out of competition, but there's also limits, right? And like dosage limits plus daily maximum limits. Why? Because it's complicated and people abuse this, and we don't want people to abuse it. We want it to be done properly. DHEA, okay? DHEA. That is a drug that is found in many over-the-counter supplements. You could go to your local Walgreens and CVS right now and buy several products off the shelf that have DHEA in them, and if you take them, it is illegal. You could get a drug ban, so you need to be very careful with that one in particular. Birth control. That's another one you got to watch out. Whatever your birth control is, you want to make sure you look that up. ADHD medicine, I talked about that before in terms of cognitive doping. So it's not just ADHD medicine. There's a whole host of things, including antidepressants, decongestants such as Sudafed. It seems very simple, right? I got some Sudafed, and well, you can't just buy it over the counter like you used to. You got to get it from the pharmacy, but you don't need a prescription. Pseudoephedrine is banned, so you got to be very careful with that. And then opioid painkillers, big one, because there's lots of levels of these in terms of how well they work. But if you're using any opioid painkiller, you should also check that out and know what you're getting into. And again, the last one that we're going to talk about are the IVs, right? So if you just go get an IV at the little clinic because you had a night out drinking, or you want to top up your B vitamin levels, again, that is a prohibited method by World Anti-Doping, and just like Ryan Lochte, you could be given a ban for that. So that's the skinny that I have right now on age group doping. Yes, it happens. Yes, it's very prevalent. Some are aware, some are unaware. Please be aware, help make our sport a better place. Do your part to race and participate clean. That is what truly makes it a level playing field for all, not your doctor. That's my message. Thanks for tuning in. You got some more questions, drop them in the comments. Happy to answer. See you next time. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more of it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've got all kinds of great Ironman tips on training, nutrition, racing, amazing content. I would love for you to join me on this journey. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check it out every week.